Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful. And the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you guys buy it. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Go back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, holiday weekend. We already got some weird stuff going on in the markets, though. I don't know what's going on. So first of all, let me just double check over here. Good grief. When I visit the Financial Juice page, it will, like, if I haven't been listening to the alerts or I haven't had the page open, when I switch over to it, I go woo as I visit the page. Okay, so we don't really have anything too significant here today. So this is going to kind of be an interesting day. Oh, I take that back. We do have ISMs. We have ISM manufacturing PMI data coming out. Okay, so if we come over here to the charts, the big thing I'm noticing right off the bat is that the treasuries are just popping off right there off of the open here just, 2 minutes ago. They really jumped up there on the open. So and note they're pretty significantly above these old CPI point. We need to fix that right there. Let's put this up. Drawing tools, event. CPI. Okay. Anyways, so we're well above those CPI levels and starting to like retrace the May time. So that's kind of different. ES struggling overnight, but mostly making it back to unchanged. Yesterday was a little bit of a wild ride. We did not quite get the kind of buying influx that I was hoping that we would get for the quarter end. Oh, by the way, in the treasury, we had a pretty big decline on the close. So that was kind of weird. Probably also related to the quarter end. Then over here in oil is rising again today. There has been some correlation between oil and treasuries, but not on this particular move. Natural gas taking a plunge yesterday. And we got silver and gold. Silver and gold just getting absolutely creamed, even though the yields are decreasing. So you lose on the way up, you lose on the way down. And now how do you, because before it was like we're blaming it on the yields. Now what do you blame it on? I don't know. Copper also struggling here. So even though we're not really seeing it in the indexes, there is kind of a global growth fears kind of smell to things. And then over here in Bitcoin, Tether doing its quarterly attestation bought up a ton of Bitcoin. And this was what Bitfinex was predicting yesterday if you were here on the stream. So that's a little suspicious, but look, it's already come back down. And I don't know if they start pushing, new lows here on this session today, especially going into the holiday weekend when liquidity is going to be weak. You could possibly see some more liquidations this weekend. So that's basically where we're at. So we don't have any bottom of the hour news, but we will have some action and we got some PMIs. So this is curious. I wonder if the right call here is now to continue going along the treasuries, but no, the 10-year well below 3%. Actually, all of them well below 3%. Interesting. Is there anybody putting out bids in? Okay. I was like, is anybody actually gonna like bid in the 5? That's interesting. So the 5-year really came back hard too, because the inversion is gone. 30 years still above 3% though. Is coming back a little aggressively here. I think I did see some activity somewhere on here. Yeah, there was. There was at 965. Still, that spread is awfully wide. I think we might want to do something about that, although I don't think maybe just at this very moment. Let's go through, check all our messages and everything. Now, what's this top step changing things? Top step is updating all rhythmic trading accounts due to changes recently rolled out by the CME group. The CME now charges everyone for market data that is provided in both live and simulated trading accounts. Top step is making the following updates. Top step will cover the cost of level 1 top of the book. Top step level 2 data previously provided access up to 10 price levels on each side. If you use that, you will now see top of the book. Oh, geez. They're not even like, oh, well, you can pay more to get top of the book. Your market data subscription is now limited to 1 session. Shouldn't that have always been the, but you can do that with Rhythmic anyways, using their RTrader Pro. Oh, man. I see what you're doing there, Peter. Oh, man. Hey, good morning, D, by the way. Jeez. So you just can't trade the book anymore at Top Step, basically. That's crazy. No, probably not. Well, that whole thing is just kind of disappointing about Top Step. I mean, I guess we weren't recommending them anyways, but now, like, you just straight up can't do our style of trading through them. But you know what? Everybody doing this, I think, has gone on to micros anyways and is trading their own account. So it's okay. I think I came into today a little dehydrated because my lips are all chapped. It's getting hot out there. It'll be hot this weekend. Hmm. Mechanism, let's see here. Mechanism whereby Bitcoin and cryptos cause inflation in luxury items with trickle down to ordinary goods and services, contrary to claims by BitDotes. The money supply expansion is dwarfed by fake assets and real estate bubbles. Huh. And then there's a Bloomberg article. He cites that's Nassim Taleb. Hmm. Okay. So nothing too much overnight on Twitter either. Treasury is coming back significantly there, though. I don't know. It's been a long time since I say I don't know too much. I should stop saying that because I do know. I do know, guys. I know it's been a long time, but I know that we have had times where there was a big move overnight and we came into it and then it was like reverting. And that's not necessarily action that we like. I'm a little scared to come over here and put my little one lot out on the 5-year. Maybe we could try and bring the spread up in here like that if I put one of them there. And kind of paused when I did that. I'm afraid to put an offer out though. TSMC sees clients scale back orders. Interesting. Well, scaling back orders, that could sure help with the whole supply chain issues thing. I don't know. It kind of seems to me like that big of a spread is not really justified. A little sparse this morning in general. I'm having flashbacks, guys. I'm having flashbacks. I'm thinking back to days where it did this sort of thing. And then I would think, oh, there's a trade, there's a trade, there's a trade. Take a bunch of trades and lose a bunch of money on a day when there wasn't really any very good reason to trade. So what do we have reasons to trade? Well, we're going into a weekend and we often see big moves going into weekends and we haven't, volatility has been a little bit more constrained this week than I thought it would be. S&P 500 is down overnight. Pretty good. Let's hear what's moving the most right now though is oil. Oil, soybeans, Canadian dollar strength overall. There is a little bit of iceberging going on here in the 10-year. Let's reset things. Well, the 2-year has a pretty wide spread too. Oh, you know what? Which reminds me, I was working on an indicator. You want to see my indicator? Let's see if I can get this to work today because it was having issues. So the issue, oh, actually, you know what? I decided it didn't work. I made an indicator that will show you like the bid-ask spread really well in the micro treasuries. But the problem that I was having is that like the charting just doesn't work very well if there's no actual transactions. At least that charting doesn't. This charting over here is great. Oh, didn't even save the history for us. See that? It does look like they're working the offer more. Probably don't need it to be that wide. Let's just make it teeny tiny. Like that. Yep. A little bit of a break down in the 10-year there. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so this Bloomberg article is basically saying that people making money in cryptocurrencies increased demand for Rolex watches. And now that they're coming back down, Rolex is hurting. Sunny Pro, how are you today? A little bit of a slow start to the session for us on the stream today, but you guys are getting in there. You're slowly trickling in. I guess I actually started on time, which is a little bit different for us, isn't it? Look at that, and yields are coming back up. You realize we came down like 10 basis points overnight. Significant move. I have a feeling that you're the most realist futures day trader on YouTube. What is that supposed to mean? No, I'm just kidding. In a way, that's true, but Rolex have been an alt currency for a while. Well, so the argument that Taleb is trying to make here is that cryptocurrencies have actually kind of been contributing to inflation in some way. Like you're doing your thing, not caring about views or fame. Yeah, well, but like here's the thing, Sunny Pro, is that when it comes to streaming, like here's the thing, I could do all sorts of silly things on the stream. I don't know what I would actually do. It's that sort of thing doesn't necessarily come natural to me. I was watching, I was watching Jeremy Clarkson's farm yesterday, which I thought was so entertaining. I was learning all this stuff about farming, and he is just so effing hilarious. I really enjoyed it. And but you know, I always kind of wonder with him and you know what they do with the Grand Tour and before that Top Gear. You know, how often or the stuff that they're doing on there really like they're lying? Like they're just making it all up for fun. I mean, you know that they do that, but like what percentage of it is? So I was watching one episode where they had an all electric supercar, and it was way faster than the non-electric supercars. But then they put Hammond in the car, and he finished the race. He did okay, and then afterwards he drove the car off the road, and the car lit on fire. And I'm like, I wonder if they did that on purpose so that you could see the problems with electric cars and fires or something. But they did show him on a stretcher. I don't know, man. Like maybe they were lying, maybe they weren't. But I come back and I think about that, and I'm like, oh man, I need to get some better storytelling, here on the stream. That'll keep people more interested, get them stuck to it. But then I always come back to, okay, but YouTube doesn't really push streams, not anymore. There was a time where we were growing because of that, and YouTube would send up to 50 people at a time to our stream, and then there was times during the whole GameStop thing where it was way higher than that, right? And of course, that audience then all left because YouTube throttles the stream. The people that come here and watch the stream every day, most of you are guys that in the video description, there's a link for the permanent live stream URL, and you're bookmarking that and coming to it every day. And it's the same group of you guys every day, right? So what I do here on stream does not mean a whole lot for the growth of the channel. So why would I do all of these crazy things to try and get more viewers, right? It makes much more sense to try and provide as much value to you guys as possible, and to just focus on getting as good at trading as possible, right? So that's what we do. And where does the growth for the channel come from? It comes from the videos, right? And I think the primary value in the videos is, again, that I'm able to provide you real empirical data and information about the nature of markets that is contrary to what most retail traders believe, but that's just the data and the facts. And you go into the quant world, they don't mess with this stuff, right? They're not using RSIs and stuff the way the retail traders do. So yeah. But I don't know if it would be the most realist. I mean, there are some other people doing futures trading, right? But they're a much more, what are you saying, aggressive. They're taking on a lot of risk and doing some really risky gambling things, and making a big deal out of that. I'll do risky gambling things on sim accounts, but that doesn't attract as many viewers, but that's okay, because we don't need those extra viewers that are right. We're primarily, as it pertains to the stream at least, we're primarily interested in people that are interested in futures and that are going to contribute as well, right? Because it's really more of a collaboration here that we've got going. I did so much work yesterday, by the way, trying to figure out for us how to calculate a better price for the micro treasury yields. I've been trying to get broker tech data. I've been able to find it for as little as $400, but pretty yuck. Sent out a couple more emails to people. We'll see if we get any responses today. But I also ordered a book. We might have to do a really complicated calculation and try and estimate based on the yield curve what the on the run treasury price is. Do you do one-on-one coaching? Well, sure. So I mean, I don't do like you pay me for an hour and I'll just sit down and go through things with you. Not that I wouldn't mind doing that. It's just I don't really have the time most of the time, right? Like during the day, I'm working. I have a day job, and if I have a break in the day job, I think I'll be able to spend some time on stuff today. I'm usually more interested in doing my own education and programming and stuff like that, right? So I wasted. It's funny how what things I get interested in because I got wanted to have an indicator like this. You see how we can see where the spread is really well, even though there's not any transactions going on, right? And oh, by the way, we should turn on like a cumulative delta or something. Volume, total depth, flip. Yeah, let's come into the settings of this. I'm still a little afraid to put an order in the 5-year because, I mean, look, they came back almost that whole opening range and then just pushed up to new highs, like just totally plowed through it. Okay, so Auction Vista, because I don't necessarily want cumulative delta on it. I just want like volume. Well, okay, those are my choices, huh? I think I'll just do volume. Okay, anyways. I did not find it. Oh actually, so I did find it kind of. So the first thing is there's like those free tools on the CME website, and there's I forget what a quick strike or whatever. I don't know if they've changed since I tried to demo it, and I tried to go in and demo it again, but it wouldn't let me. You might be able to get the data there, maybe. But then when I talked to Trading Technology, they said they could do it. They said that they would have to set up a fixed connection, and that for a connection like that, it's basically $300 plus whatever the exchange fees are for that data. So basically, they don't actually provide it, which is to say, it's not like a regular service that is provided to people. It's like they're saying, oh, well, we're connected to the CME, so we can like hook you up. But yeah, it's so the deeper and the more and more I go on this, the more it seems to me that nobody in retail is connected to broker tech. I mean, I guess makes sense because you're trading like full treasuries over there, right? So probably it's too big for any retail trader to be doing anything with. But one of the things that kind of concerns me, or that I've been, that I think about is, what if you get that data and then you find out that actually you're already getting basically the best that they would give. Like you go over to broker tech and it's the same problem. Like the spread is really, really wide. Okay, so that's a little odd, but I think I just don't have it wide enough because I feel like that if I have to switch back over here. And let's just make this a little bit bigger so we can kind of see. Because shouldn't it be? Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, like this should be a little bit lower, right? There we go. Okay. Thank you. All right, so we fixed that one. What about the 2 years? The 2 years still messed up? It could be better, but when I did that and it got within 10 ticks, then all of a sudden the robots woke up. So let's close this. I'm gonna sit back here for a little bit because even though we're trending up in the treasuries, I'm I'm a little hesitant. So here's the thing. Remember this, right? Here's the rule of thumb. I think this is the best rule of thumb that I've got, right? And it's this: first trade is usually the best trade. So I think that we missed the first trade. Maybe it continues going up, but it's not going to be as good as the first one, right? So I feel like that in this current situation, it's probably better to back off a little bit. You have that for ZN. Well, you could open it up for ZN, yeah, sure. You're talking about the Vista chart? I mean, Vista charts are cool and all. See, over here, it's a little bit different because there's not a spread, right? The spread is one tick. So what you see is different. No, that other thing. What are you talking about then? You didn't mean this? You didn't mean this chart that I had open? What's stopping you from day trading full time and continue fully focused on that career? Well, so for starters, futures trading is really crazy hard, right? I just straight up am not consistent enough to make a living off of it, period. And I really, from what I know about the market, I'm really skeptical about anybody that says that they can. Like the people that I've met that are really truly like making a career off of this are doing much more complicated stuff, and they have a much larger wad, right? Like, for instance, we have a guy that, well, I haven't seen him in a day or two, but he's probably just lurking. Akshay is, he basically does trades on euro dollars and SOFR futures, and he's like actually holding physicals, right? So I tell you what, it's something I've been looking at. If you have the money to do a basis trade, a futures basis trade, that is something you can consistently make money on, and it's basically like a low risk, zero risk trade. If there's a difference between the futures and the cash, and you do a basis trade, and there's all sorts of complicated ways of doing that. Even if you don't do that, you should understand what that is. They talk about it on the CME website, because a lot of the activity is involved in that. Anyways, so that's the thing. And then the next thing is that really to pay the bills every month, right? That's a pretty high bar. Like, it really is. Because if you're talking about you make 5,000 a month, or I don't know what would be an even number. I think that's more than I make. I'm actually not sure at the moment how much I make a month. But you get what I'm saying. Like, to make that every month is a little unrealistic. So you're going to have a month where you lose money, right? So you're going to have savings that you can dip into as well. So there's that. But then the other thing is that this is just not full time. Like what I do, I come in, I spend a lot of time reading and everything, but I do that just in breaks in between when I'm doing my regular job. I keep up on the news, and I'm doing everything that I can on that front. You don't want to sit here and trade treasuries for like 6 hours a day, man. Trade the DOM. No, it's like 3 hours and you're probably burnt. Whenever I try and trade past that, it usually doesn't end very well. Right? So that's why you say you're the most realistic trader on YouTube, sure. I'm sure that there are plenty of people on YouTube that, some of these larger channels in stocks that probably made a real killing in stocks and were living off of it for a while. But here's the other thing, is that, if we had that level of subscriber count as some of these channels that we've piggybacked off of, man, You know, when they have like hundreds of thousands of subs, they're not actually living off the trading, man. They're living off the YouTube. That's enough to just live off the YouTube, man. It really is. Which kind of brings me to point 3 or point 4. I guess the first two could kind of be considered 1 point. So point 3. Oh man, I just lost it. Oh, ADHD is so much fun sometimes. Oh yes. The other thing is I have a family. Like I have 2 babies. I have 3 stepkids, you know, a bunch of other things to take care of. So it's not really an ideal life situation to be taking on the kind of risk involved in just only day trading for your money, right? So we could get to the point of doing YouTube, but you know what? That'll be a big risk if we ever get to that point, because like right now, YouTube advertising income, I'd say is probably down 20%, right? So can you handle a 20% cut to your revenue randomly? You know? Yeah, well, it kind of depends on how much extra I would be making, right? If the YouTube channel got to this is the thing that I think is really interesting, is that a lot of these YouTubers, they get really big, and then like that's all they do. They just keep doing that thing and they don't grow. Like they don't put the money back in. There have been some that have done that, like me, you know, some of the really big ones like Meet Kevin and but these guys don't necessarily day trade, right? But they just put a ton of money away in savings and they just keep growing their empire, right? But I've seen a lot of these people, especially the day traders, where I'm kind of like, you're still living in the same place, right? Like, pretty sure you're just making money off of the YouTube and you're not actually investing it. Could be just me. I don't know. We do make. Man, why do I keep saying that? You know what I say? I don't know when it's like I don't know what else to say. We've starting, you know, it kind of come to an interesting place with the YouTube channel, because the YouTube channel has been very, very I mean, honestly, people on TikTok always try and give me crap about it. They're like, "Oh, you've been doing this for 5 years, you only have 8,000 subscribers," and I'm like, "Are you kidding me? That's freaking awesome!" Especially for just trading futures. And if I'm able to transition into like more general stuff, like, holy crap, guys, this channel has been amazing. And the thing is that we do make advertising revenue, and I've always said we put it back into the stream, right? Well, we did that. And I'm like running out of ideas about how to put that money back into the channel to improve the channel. So I've just kind of been saving it up for a rainy day, or I don't know. I pay for no ads because people give ads in the channel. I don't care what TikTokers think, honestly, dude. Well, you know what it is, NASDAQ killer. You watch this. This would be a good one for you, okay? People usually use the most effective argument they think they have first. And this is true to combat as well. Unless they're like hyper confident, okay? Like the whole Dragon Ball Z thing where you don't show your true power and you have like 6 different transformations that are up and coming and everything. That's mostly for a storytelling element. People typically don't do that in real life because nobody's that confident. Anybody that's that confident is smart enough to know that like that's really risky and you shouldn't do that. By the way, while I'm thinking about it, if you haven't hit that like button, go ahead and hit that like button. It does help the stream out. Especially you hit it early on in the stream because that gives more of a chance for people, YouTube to show it to other people. Anyways, so people usually just go for the throat. And that is very much what happens in Flame Wars. But the thing is that if they don't know you, right? They don't know what sort, if you're trying to be a psychopath and you're trying to, harm someone else mentally, let's say, right? But you don't know the person. What do you use, right? And what I find very common among the TikTokers and stuff is that they go for their own insecurities, right? They will attack you for things that they're insecure about in the hopes that that's going to be your greatest insecurity as well. So on TikTok, they'll say, "Oh, you're bald," and honestly, even if I had a full head of hair, even if there wasn't balding, I think I would probably still be bald now. I think it looked better that way. I did have pretty cool hair though, but it just wasn't professional, let's say. And then like, oh, the YouTube channel isn't very successful. That just shows how little you know about what's going on, right? Because for the niche and the space that we are in, we are massively successful, right? Like we do as well in many respects as like the bigger guys in the space, like Futures Trader 71 and Anthony Crudelli, which like seriously, those guys are like serious. Okay, I don't think that Futures Trader 71 like makes a living off of day trading, but he makes a living off of related things like running a brokerage and stuff, right? So he's been in the industry a long time. And Anthony Crudelli was a guy that was pulling $1 million a year off of market making at one point, right? And has like a relationship with the CME and other people, right? That I could never hope to have, right? Those are serious big fish, and we pull in a similar audience. It's something like 30% of all people that are actively trading futures, believe it or not. If you just look at how many people a month are searching for futures on Google. So channel is massively successful, and it's just they don't know the niche. They think that a popular person is like these people on TikTok that have like 1 million viewers and stuff like that. Well, it's not like that if you're in a niche. And it doesn't have to be like that in a niche. Like I said, even with this teeny channel that we have, the channel generates more revenue than we know what to do with in terms of growing the channel. It's not enough for somebody to live off of. Could be. Well, actually, we need to be. I'd say if we were able to, the thing is that it grows exponentially, right? So I'm hoping that once we get above 10K that we could really start growing more. But I'm going to say if the channel was 5 times larger, then maybe somebody could live off of it. And I probably won't be the first one that will live off of it. I will probably hire a video editor, right? Somebody that will like not only edit the videos for me, but come in every day and cut out the best parts of the stream and make those into shorts and stuff like that. So I see this with I've had other influencers or YouTube channels come in and try and attack me, largely because we wouldn't let them spam in our Discord channel or whatever the deal was, which that alone kind of tells you something. Oh, well, they have to come over here to try and piggyback off of. Yep, I get it. We're the largest futures trading Discord out there. I get it. So they would attack and they would say all these crazy things. And you know that it's like all just projection, right? Since they don't actually watch the channel, they don't actually know anything about me. All of their attacks are really the things that they're self-conscious about, because they know that, okay, their indicator package isn't worth anything and basically not worth what they're charging for it, right? So they turn around and they say that Seth is a scammer, and it's like, well, Seth is a scammer for what? For live streaming his trading and telling you that trading is really hard? Like, that doesn't make any sense at all, does it? Right? It's just projection. HHH, until they meet you. When you fight with the market monster your entire life, a pity dancing TikToker with feather earrings is something I can crush just because they turned right and couldn't see it. Yeah, I'm a terrible person for giving you free info on a YouTube channel about trading. So there was this one, oh man, this was so weird. There was this TikToker, a woman that was pushing eat the rich, right? And they were complaining about Procter and Gamble's prices, which to me is just absolutely insane. Like, they're saying, Procter and Gamble is making too much. Okay, like their return is about on par with the S&P 500. Okay, and how are they able to offer the prices so low? Because they're like so crazy good. Like, nobody else could come in. If Procter and Gamble didn't exist, everything would just be more expensive. So like, to complain about them as like driving shrinkflation is just really crazy, right? It is the environment. The environment is inflationary, and all of these companies are just acting as any reasonable actor would, given the circumstances. But they think it's either rich. So I make a video about that. And they came after me so hard. And this was a big influencer. This was somebody with like 100K subs or something like that. And her whole video was basically just like, he's bald, he's a man, this sort of thing. Didn't like actually really address the points. And but the thing that they said about me that I thought was kind of the funniest was they were like, oh, well, he's a day trader, so he's trying to fool people with day trading because all day trading influencers are a scam. And it's like, well, clearly you haven't watched the channel. Clearly you didn't watch any of my videos other than the one video that I stitched of yours, because my whole thing is I'm the one person in the space telling people, don't do this unless you really enjoy it, because you usually don't make money from it. Not enough to live on, at least. I've been doing okay here with these micro treasury futures, by the way. It's just the data fees kill, unfortunately. I guess I need to size up. Maybe I need to be a little bit more aggressive. Size up. Anyways, but I thought that one was so interesting. Most of their video was just attack, and that was the thing. Like, people use the argument that they think is the most effective first, right? So if the first thing that they do is they say you're bald, what does that say? Right? This individual thinks that because they run a consulting business that they understand business in the economy. I'm sorry. It's not the same thing. Like, running a business and being a small business owner is very, very different from like understanding macroeconomics and investing. It's very different from like the people that are in like private equity. Okay. So it doesn't mean that you know jack squat about those other things, right? So really what it is them admitting that they can't compete on an equal plane with you, right? They're going after immutable attributes about the person, thinking that that's going to make them feel bad, when really all they're doing is they're showing me, oh, they don't know how to deal with the argument, because they can't stick to logical arguments. They have to immediately first go for a petty insult, right? And the funny thing is that, like, that other video got a lot of views and stuff, but it was mostly because of all of the people coming into the comments and being like, well, you really shouldn't attack people for being bald. And I kind of wonder if the only reason that TikTok, because she had to like put it up like 3 or 4 times, and then finally, I guess TikTok decided to stop deleting it. But it might have been in part because I said, hey, don't delete it. Because it was giving me traffic. It was giving me traffic. Kind of died down real quickly, though. I think I only got like 200 subs from that one. It's nothing compared to the subs that I got when I had a video that made like 200K views or whatever. Interestingly, though, I had another video that also did really, really well, about an office chair. And that one didn't give very many subscribers. So that was kind of weird. Well, so we had that initial move up. And then, well, it keeps going. Man, the 30-year just really went there, didn't they? I don't even remember what prices I had been looking at before. I did put some orders out, didn't I? Orders today, 915. Oh, wow. Yeah, it moved down, but the 5-year is much more in order here. Seems like the 2-year is a little off. I'm a little, I don't know. And that seems like that does look too wide, but I don't know how we bring it in. I don't know if I feel comfortable offering at 2885 at the moment. Where's my 30? Okay, there's my 30. The spreads are okay. Now, let's kind of go out there, check things. We remember we got some news in about 30 minutes and then at the top of the hour again. Oh, that's right. There's an F1 race this weekend, isn't there? Where is it at? What's the time? Oh, 103 Great Britain. Oh, okay. The race will be at 1500 GMT. Oh, okay. On what? The 3rd Sunday? Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll catch one live, we'll see. Yeah, being a content creator is interesting to me. I think that even if it wasn't day trading, I was probably destined to try and become a content creator of some kind. I just find the whole space way too interesting. That would have been weird. Like if I was on TikTok, what would I be making content about if not for finance? Unreal Engine, I guess. Probably would be Unreal Engine. Might be doing better if I was doing Unreal Engine stuff. Rob Copeland on Twitter. The Austin housing market right now consists exclusively of sellers searching desperately for a time machine to go back 3 to 6 months and sell back then. 4th of July, let's hear Mr. Topstep. Yeah, often has interesting insights. The 4th of July holiday marks the start of summer vacations across the U.S. My guess is people have already left or cut out today. I expect an abundance of chop. If you're trading, cut back. If you're not trading, you are a very smart trader. Thank you. So, like, here's the thing. Right now, we're kind of touching the previous highs. So let's see if they hold it here. I mean, the Treasury is sure looking like they're just going to go up all day, but I'm a little skeptical. Surely we did leave some money on the table because there was a point where we were putting orders out up here, and of course there was a little chance of those getting filled, but if we had gotten filled, we might have been able to make some money off of it. Although one has to wonder if we had kept offering down and then gotten filled, we kind of would be still in a little bit of the same place. So we wouldn't be getting paid very much for taking the risk on, would we? No, I think that probably there will be much better opportunities next week. And we do have, news and stuff next week. In fact, let's come in here and check. Do a week view next week. So it's a holiday on Monday, and then we got factory orders, JOLTS, ISM services, non-farm ADP, a couple of Fed speakers, average hourly earnings, and then the week after that, do we get inflation numbers? CPI on the Wednesday. 2,100 up on the day so far, UB. Yeah, I guess here, where was it? It was 02 the open. If we had taken the open, it would have been pretty good, right? We would have made 20 ticks or whatever. Would have been like way up in here, right? But the point at which I was kind of feeling a little bit more confident about trying to market make and bring the spread in, it was not such good prices. So I wouldn't have made very much. I'm still kind of eyeing the 2-year here. He's awfully skittish, isn't he? We'll see here. I don't necessarily want to get filled. But the spread here is like way too wide. But if we can show this market maker here that there's no way he's going to get filled that far out. He's kind of mulling though. It looks like we might be getting a bit of flattening coming in. See, now that's interesting. The bid did come up a little bit, but not very much. The offer is just so far out there, though. I feel like I'm going to come around here, just browse a little bit, see if we're missing anything. BIS to allow member banks to hold 1% of their reserves on Bitcoin. The Bank for International Settlements. That's interesting. I don't know if that actually has an effect or not, but it's probably still a significant thing. Yeah. Okay, so they did break down further in the 10-year. So that kind of doesn't look good necessarily for trending. The last move up that we had was at 7 o'clock, so I don't think that timing is quite right for another leg. So let's recenter things. There's a large order there at 139.20 in the 30-year. What's with that? Summer specials. Hmm. Well, they're falling a little bit more hard here. This would kind of be the spot where you would want to see some continuation of the trend, right? But I'm a little skeptical about that. We've got a large meta order buying going on today, right? It seems like they're playing much more the bid. Hmm. So I don't think that order is necessarily reacting to me. He's just kind of flighty. And I kind of wonder why there's these guys all the way back down here. The moment does not look good in the treasuries, though. Hmm. Okay. Another little decline there. That last tick in the 10-year kind of looks significant, but you're kind of coming into a congested area, so they may just build a distribution around the VWAP here. They may actually bounce. It is kind of looking like they're just going to bounce. Well, it is bouncing, but it's a flattening bounce, which doesn't necessarily support. All right, well, one of you guys, it looks like one of you guys are helping me putting a bid out at 2.888. I'm still a little unsure here. Like, there was a good bounce there in the 10-year, but it's not clear that it's actually turning into an upside move. Hmm. Say, like, it looks like it's popping up, but then those bids are awfully soft. There's the S&P 500. Wow, that I haven't seen an open like that in a while. S&P 500 buying pretty aggressively there, and just like a really consistent juke up higher. There's a node at 3787. That might be worth buying, guys. Let's see. Is it really? The period from July 1st through the 17th is the most bullish period for stocks of the last 94 years? I'm skeptical about that. That's interesting. I would think that it would be more like the December is the most bullish time for stocks, you know? I don't know. This kind of the beginning of the summer is not the best trading. That's one of the things, is that like it might be a bullish time for stocks, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's good action for day trading, right? Is kind of the problem. I can't believe that this bid is still all the way down at 2.887. Does look like they're kind of holding in that the treasuries might go up for a new high. I don't know about that. I don't like that series of ticks. It's kind of fighting there at 12 half. Okay, I fixed it. See, once you get it in within the spread within 10, then it's like larger market maker comes in. So we've met goal one. Goal one is reduce the spreads to within 1 basis point in all the instruments. Then goal two is actually make money from it. But no fills today. And some actual orders coming through at 2.9. They're still kind of playing. I think we probably got a few more minutes before if there's going to be another leg, right? I'm curious to see what happens here in the 2-year, because there was 7 lots bought into 2.9. Overall, it looks like that the treasuries are pushing up for new highs. The 30-year is very, very close, but there's also some flattening going on as well, which doesn't help if we're on the shorter end of the curve, right? Yeah, that's it. We're trying to offer there at 2.899. Someone. Makes sense. Okay. Oh, I turned it off. Hold on. That was wrong. Okay. Well, look at that. Now it's really coming in, but that's because the 5-year just caught a pretty strong bid. I would have thought that the 10-year would have been easier to get back to 15, but they're just kind of chilling there for the moment. Oh, and by the way, that really strong looking buy on the open there, it got flipped on its head quickly, didn't it? Might be behind some of the bid in the treasuries. Is that the stocks are kind of turning a little bearish again. Not enough that that couldn't all change really, flip around really quickly. US 2-year yields have completely erased the post CPI move, yeah. Haven't they all? Yeah. Well, whoever got filled at 2.9 got to be happy. Some volume there at 13.5. Now is about the time. I'm not quite seeing it in the cumulative delta in the volume. I think for me to justify taking it on a Friday, if it was, a different day of the week and it was a day when I thought we should be moving, that could be enough to maybe get me to buy here. There's 15. Okay. A couple of these slipping there. Well, kind of keeping an eye out for maybe some absorption. There was like one at 13.5. Like, I think if I really wanted to speculate here in the 10-year, 14.5 would be better, right? But I want to, if I can see a good solid iceberg, which I don't think that that's what we want there at 15. 14.5 gave away a little too easily. And recovered that pretty well. Well, I'm not necessarily seeing what I want, but the timing is right. Yeah, looks like I missed it. ES is turning bullish again too, by the way. How about why not at 3,800? Oh, oh, not quite. Not quite. Shying away from it, huh? The stocks like the better yields. Yeah, I thought so. See, the robot is trying to get away with something here. So every time that we try and beat him out, he says, oh, "Okay, I'll bring mine. I'll bring my offer down and beat you." I'm kind of tempted right there. No, they already did it. Probably too late now. Unless, of course, we get like a lucky fill or something. Man, the 30-year really moved there when they made a new high. And look at that big order kind of supporting the market. Scott, good morning. How are you? Man, well, how quickly do you think? Because they went from 140 to 140.12, just like that. Boom, in the 30-year. So I'm seeing a bull flattener. Is that what we call it, right? Because the treasuries are overall moving up. ES still flirting with 3,800. Well, treasury's falling back into that liquidity hole. Moved a little too quickly on that one. I have to say, though, the volume is still not, I'm still not seeing very good auto-correlated volume in the treasuries. Bitcoin is seeing a bit of a rise here. So they're trying to move up with the equities. Okay, there we go. We got our first half build. If they by chance come back down here, I might want to buy more. We'll see. The problem here is I don't think that you want to market make on the bid side here in the micros. Whoa, what? Hmm. Coming back up there. Let's reset it right there. It seems like a more fair spot. Dude, what is up with the 2-year? Come on. This over here in the 10-year looks kind of bullish, but it doesn't seem correct in the given circumstances. They didn't really trade. So in this instance, they came up, and I don't feel like that there was a very large significant transaction up here or anything that would have created a liquidity hole above the 15. Probably more likely they get sucked back to the 15, right? Yes, kind of backing off of that push higher already. They might just be coming back to 3,800. As a like sort of a retest, you know? What? What? That one don't make much sense. There we go. Okay. So there is 15. Sure enough, it is a hole with some they were not quite out of, slid back into the bottom of it. So that's probably where we will stay until the news at the top of the hour. How we doing over here in chat, by the way? Everybody good? 11 likes, 12 viewers. Good job, guys. Thank you for clicking the like button. It really helps out. I guess now here ahead of the news would be another good time to mention that if you haven't viewed all of the things in the video description, highly recommend you check those out. Like I was saying earlier in the stream, the channel actually generates some more revenue than we know what to do with it until we have enough to pay for a video editor. So it's not really about helping me, it's about helping you. We have some affiliate links in there, so if you want to buy Jigsaw, you get $100 off in the video description. I haven't talked about Yada in a while. Yada is a savings account that you sign up for that. You basically, it's kind of like a savings account with a lottery built into it, which is kind of fun. And when you sign up, they give you free tickets. So you get free money over there. I think it's like you have to save $25 into your account and then you'll get enough tickets. Is usually about $10. So Yada is a good one to check out. Yada is where I put my rainy day fund. And then we've got, you you're here every day. You might as well have something to show for it. So we got this mugs. Trader's Gonna Trade mug. If you don't have a news squawk, man, you gotta get a news squawk. So we have the affiliate link for Financial Juice in there. That's what I use for my news squawk. By the way, it's not in the video description, but you might, if you're a high roller, you might want to check out News Squawk because they got a pretty good discount on News Squawk. It's the price, before it was like, oh, I'd never be able to afford that. Now the price that they're putting out on News Squawk is actually reasonable. It's a reasonable price. So I think that you'd still be a high roller, but I'm sure that there's more than one of you here. So if you don't have a News Squawk, highly recommend getting News Squawk. So let's come in here. I'm gonna make sure I'm connected and everything. We are looking for U.S. Manufacturing New Orders Index 52, Manufacturing Employment Index 50, and we're looking for the headline U.S. ISM Manufacturing PMI to be 54.5. So it doesn't make too much sense for me to try and bring things in here on the 2-year now. There's not much time for us to recover it if something happens. So we'll wait until after the news and we'll see how the S&P 500 reacts here, right? So far they're on the up. That could shift so quickly though if based on what the ISM is. What? Scott Adams, today I will teach you how to gaslight yourself using the Democrat method. Okay. Oh, man. Still got about 2 minutes. Yeah, I have to say there's a decent amount of activity and jockeying for position going into this news release. I suspect that what we might get is a decent move off of the news release, and then at least the treasury market just go completely dead. That is very often what will happen on a holiday weekend Friday, right? The AC has been on and providing me new fresh air, and it feels good. It makes me want to go and get my oxygen. I bought a bottle of oxygen, and yeah, I love that stuff. It does. Hold on, I'm gonna be right. See, it's like it's a bottle of oxygen. I saw it at the Walgreens, and I was like, well, I have to try that. That sounds stupid, but it does. It's oxygen. You can tell. When we were having the baby at the hospital, you know, they were a little concerned about him coming out, so they turned the oxygen on and everything. And then when everything calmed down and they left, oh geez, look at that. Ah, that's curious. I'm gonna try some gambling here. Okay, so the headline was 53 versus an expected 54 spot 5. So that's why the treasuries are buying so aggressively there. I don't think that I want to mess with the... Oh, man. Are there no offers in the 5-year? Shit. I put an order out there, right? Tried messing around and pulled it. You gotta be kidding me. 965? Really? Well, if these are all moving higher, this should be way... It should be way further in, right? Okay, so hold on. Held down. That was a pretty awesome move. Yeah, I would agree. I'm gonna switch over to my slimmed down workspace here a little bit so that we're a little more nimble. Guess not. Oh, my broker is just being slow. I put the order out there and it says cancel pending. Look at them go. They're in the 10-year, man. I could just sell it in the 10-year. No, cancel. Okay, well, my platform, Ninja Trader, I think, is being problematic here, guys, because them orders are not canceling. Treasuries, man. They came back pretty quick there. How was 8.4 the bid? Really? Okay, 8.7, 8.4. Sure. Like, I had a bid out there at 2.9, at 0.9, and they didn't hit it. That's hilarious. Okay, now they're all canceled. Uh-huh. Okay. Can't believe I had it. What was it? It was at 16. I had it long at 16. I only took 8 ticks off of it. But that was because it was too all over the place for me to try and work a position. So, oh, come on. Really? Thank you. That's a little more sensical. I mean, I think you'd have to be crazy to buy into me there at 2.84, right? Hmm. I'm kind of looking for some reloading here. Not seeing it. It is. Euro trade. Well, S&Ps aren't necessarily liking it, are they? Our trade in the S&Ps is falling apart. Look at that. Well, I got that level break trade just was beautiful, wasn't it? So I don't recall what it used to be that you could they had like a limited version of Jigsaw within Trade of 8 and you could connect it to it, but now that Trade of 8 has been taken over by Ninja Trader, I don't really know what the deal there is. So but either way, I think that Jigsaw is the best platform to execute on the DOM with. So if that's what you're interested in, whether you're going to use Ninja Trader or Trade of 8, or you're just going to use Jigsaw on its own, I think that it's a good option. These guys are still way back here. Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. He kind of warned me there. He's like, nah, I think you want to back up here. I was like, yeah. Clearly nobody wants to buy in the 5-year micros though. Don't blame them. But I'm going to keep the spread at least 20. In fact, I'm starting to think if I shouldn't just make a robot that just says whatever the bid is, make the offer be 20. Or rather 20 ticks from that. So we're still getting pretty severe flattening here, I guess. Yeah, because the 30 and the 10 are still like way up there, but the 5 has come back considerably. Hydro, how are you? Did you make money on all of this mess? Oh, the pump made my day. Well, do you remember when we were on stream and Bitfinex predicted that something like that might happen? When I saw that late at night, I was like, whoa, wait a second. So apparently what goes on is Tether does its attestation, and so they buy Bitcoin up so that the market matches its attestation. That makes sense. Man, if we had caught this trend and then stayed in through the news, that would have been bank, right? Like some of those earlier orders that we had put out in the 5-year were at 2.9. That's almost $100. $70 so far. Okay, sorry, where are we at? We're coming back quite a bit still. I might just let this guy's way up here. Now you're gonna go camping? You're not gonna stick around for the parades and stuff? We get parades this year. Are you guys excited? I am excited because I get to take my son to a parade. Wow. They said the German Bund just traded its largest weekly range on record. Whoa. Yeah, this is turning ugly in the S&P 500. I don't know about that one. I kind of thought that this would be a bad news is good sort of a thing, But so far, no. So far, no. And we're going to a castle in the woods. Oh, wait. You live in Europe, don't you? Yeah, I can't. You know what? I need to start taking notes. I feel like if I started taking notes about all you guys on the stream, though, like I would remember all of the stuff about you, but it would be kind of creepy. Don't you think? Hydro lives in Germany. No, wait, where does he live? I think it's Germany. Is it Germany? Oh. I don't remember now. I just remember that I'm probably supposed to remember. Like, I think he told me. I feel like the market makers behind here are just like, okay, Seth, well, you can take the front. No, it's not Germany. Where do you live then? It's not the US, is it? Oh, you didn't tell, so let's keep it a secret. Is it Europe? Oh, Tobias isn't. Well, of course, he got a German name. It's Europe. Okay. Yeah, I think there's probably a larger portion of my audience than I realize is European. Because Americans can't be bothered to wake up this early. Are they going to go for another new high? This is could get zany. I don't know. I just hear the word castle. I think Germany. That's all. ain't no castles over here in the U.S. I find it kind of sad that nobody wants to take any trades in the 5-year. You know, a part of the curve really moved. It really moved. I'm just saying. We're gonna bring this spread in, boys. We're gonna bring in this spread, and then I I have a dream that one day my children will decide which treasury product to trade based on which way the curve is going and not based on what the liquidity conditions are. Because, like, seriously, everybody trades a 10 because of the liquidity. That's not the optimal trade. I mean, it's not the optimal trade over here too, but there's the difference in the size of the instruments over there. I'm actually surprised that the 30-year is still above 3. Oh, thanks to the Bitcoin pump. Oh, good job if you made money on that. When I saw that tweet and everything, I was like, I didn't really know what he was talking about. So I'm like, well, he's usually right on these sorts of things. So we'll see. But it would have been a good one. Hmm. I mean, I could try bringing it in. I don't know why it says that I'm 10th in the queue. That's hilarious. Like, I could do this. Uh-huh. Well, that brought them in for a second. So basically what's going on here is there's a market making algorithm out there that says don't trade if the spread is greater than 10 ticks. That's what it is. So our goal should be to bring it within 10 ticks, right? See how 26 shows up there now? Okay. It also says if I'm the only one, don't do it. See? Oh, you algorithms, you're so funny. You gotta be careful here now. They're kind of approaching those highs again. And a little 5 lot has kind of brought itself in, huh? I'm thinking back to what happened to us yesterday, and I'm thinking that was like a mistake. Like somebody made a mistake in doing that, and the chances of me getting so lucky and having somebody hit me with such a wide spread is just really, really low. They're not going to do it. See if I go just one tick out, the robot disappears. That's fine. That's fine. I don't necessarily want to have to fight with the robot. Oh dear, let's turn the 2-year off. Just think I don't want to misclick, okay? So if I can keep it like 11 ticks, that will maximize the chances of somebody actually hitting into me, but make it so that I don't have to deal with another robot for the liquidity. I suppose if he comes in and I'm at the front of the queue, I'm fine with that, but whoa. What was that? That might justify me bringing the spread back out. Because that was weird. Okay. So hold on a second. I kind of want to fix one of my charts here. Okay, so it is steepening. It is steepening. Nope. I'm the only one allowed to market make in the 5-year. Sorry. Sorry, Mr. Robot Pal. But if you don't have the balls to put your liquidity out there, if I'm not there, then why should I try and bring you in? Because I can come in here and I can enjoy like a 20, 30 tick spread if I want. Not that anybody's ever going to hit that order, but I can dream, can't I? So it looks like they made a incremental new high there, but Forex Live tweets the market is having a big quote rethink. Yeah. Like I think what's going on here is the market is starting to realize that on inflation in particular that we're getting whipsawed, right? Like we just had like a really bad inflation reading, and now all of a sudden we're very, very quickly seeing all of the data turn negative. We're so quick to see the data turn negative, and yeah, I don't know. It seems not very likely that the Federal Reserve will raise interest rates 75 basis points next month, does it? All right, left task noting we've got a rate decrease priced into the first 2 quarters of 2023. What I'm doing here is a little tedious sometimes, but somebody's got to do it, boys. Somebody's got to do it. None of you are doing it. Jeez. You want something done, you got to do it yourself, right? Utah officials are discouraging the use of personal fireworks. Of course they are. Well, that 10-year is coming back into their hole awfully quickly, and that hasn't been a really clear distribution up in here yet. I suspect that we will continue to see a wide range of volatility here. I will bring my offer up to here. Okay. I don't know why they're trying to buy. I should probably close the trade that I've got over there, huh? No, Xian did well. The sim trade that I've got. I mean, I was not expecting. I wanted 3,800 to hold, and it didn't. So I don't know why it would be long 13 contracts there. Just I've been so focused on what I'm doing over here with trying to bring the spread in that I just. Ouch. 10-year took a dive there. 5-year too. 5-year really taking a dive. Is it gonna come back hard here? It's kind of when you're sitting and doing this, the whole thing about should you use a market order or a limit order? It really kind of makes you think, right? Like that guy wouldn't put that offer out there unless he had a good reason to think he could make money from it, Like you shouldn't mark it into the market on a whim, right? You need to have a real reason to think it's going to move that way. We'll see if this ends up being a support level or not. Oh, geez. Just found out my linear algebra class has 60 students in it. Ugh. Well, we need people to understand that stuff. We do. Our little friend has decided to come back. He's decided that 20 ticks is worth it now, huh? Except for what if I did that? Oh. Actually has some balls now, huh? Okay. Now all of a sudden it's within 10. Oh, I guess we're getting the tether attestation. Nope. I'm going to cancel my order here. Here we are all real quick. I don't feel I'm fast enough at the moment. We did kind of convince them to bring it in here. So I may switch. Why not? Although I don't know if I want to market make on the offer anymore. Oh, come on. Come on. That's funny. All right. Let's give it a moment here. See that 5-year churning there? I don't necessarily like that. See, and there goes more. But you're not really seeing that bid increase much. Whoa. Wait, what's going on here? Can you do walk forward analysis and yes, you can. You mean like you go in, you do a test, see what parameters work the best over a time period, and then use that for the next time period and do that every month, or yeah. And they've got a walk forward in the strategy analyzer. Zero Hedge Gov Trader says, remember, the market is great at coming to a conclusion Rally, bye, disaster, sell, but rarely is that conclusion accurate into the future. Well, one could certainly point to what happened with the CPI only a few weeks ago, right? And now we're above that. That sure was the market getting ahead of itself, right? And not only that, but I would argue that was the Federal Reserve kind of getting ahead of itself, right? Okay, so now one of the problems that I'm seeing here, so I think that the proper interest rate here in the 5-year is probably closer to that lower bound, but the spread on the offer is just being really wide for whatever reason. So even if I put one right there, okay, yeah. So the problem here is that the side of the market that is probably makes the most sense to do the market making from is kind of the wrong direction from the trend, at least for the moment. So yeah, maybe they're gonna claw their way back up. Yeah, and it works with custom indicators. It does. You can test it with literally anything. You can even do tick replay order flow indicators. Although I've decided that that's not necessarily very accurate. Okay. Okay. He's changed, right? Before he was more than happy to have me sit in front of him. Now he wants to be first. So again, what I want to do, hopefully I can leave them to their devices, is that I think that this reflattening here is a little off. So we might be able to be like here. Mm-hmm. They seem to be settling into more of a range, although it's really unclear where they. I don't know. It seems weird to me that the range that they would settle back into is more like, 140, 140.16. I guess in the 30-year might make sense. I guess at 829, there's some more liquidity. I'm feeling sleepy now again. And they brought it back out over here, so we shall. I'd rather prioritize the 5 over the 2 because the 2 usually does okay. 5 is the one that always really struggles. And I don't have a 2 up here. Not that I could, but I don't like having the actual 2-year up here, so. Not feeling so hot. It's just like a sleepiness is coming over me, you know. Maybe I'm like too focused and not getting a whole lot back out of it, and that's making me sleepy. Well, I definitely should have taken. Would have definitely. I was not prepared for that news. I should have had like my more slimmed down workspace out and ready, you know. Maybe I could have hit into an order in the 10-year and made money. I don't know. Frankly, I probably could have hit into the 5-year somewhere. Right? Let me stand up for a little bit. Well, I don't know. If I only got 3 minutes left, maybe I should just stop. It does look like they're going to come back down here. The S&P 500 does look a little bit more stable. What the heck? No, that's the onion. That can't be right. Okay. Shall we see before we go what Zero Hedge has to say about this news? Oh my gosh. See, look, I disappear. Now the spread is like 60. Bond yields are puking. Yes, sir, they are. I don't know what to think here because you can see I caught myself saying, I don't know. Again, I don't. I do know. I do know. Listen, they over-exaggerated on the inflation concerns. Now I think they're over-exaggerating on the deflation concerns. Because all of these moves just seem a little bit excessive to me. Zuckerberg warns Facebook employees to brace for layoffs. Okay. Well. The 5-year Treasury is down 25 basis points this morning. Read that again. 25 basis points, right? So again, just consider this, guys. There's like nobody. Okay, you want to sell the 5-year right now. I mean, the general trend was interest rates lower, right? So you could have offered out here, right? They're giving you like a 50-point spread, right? You can offer up in here. If somebody actually hits you, We could probably come in and bid at like 2.9. And then somebody would almost immediately hit us, probably. It's free money, man. And that, you know what? Forget I said that. It's a terrible idea. Don't do it. It's dumb. Just it's something crazy Seth does. He's probably the only person in the world that should actually do it. Okay, the entire treasury curve is re-rating lower as recession risks soar as manufacturing surveys look ugly this morning. The 10-year yield has plunged below 3%, now testing 2.8%, and 5-year yields are also at 2.8%. Yeah, so despite an initial significant steepening of the curve here, it has given up that steepening and is now flat. And we've got a curve here. Like, look, if you just look at the bids, the 10 and the 5 are basically right on each other. And same with the 2-year, frankly. Which all seems a little shouldn't be that way. But I digress. That's what it is. Bonds are rallying from their cheapest level relative to stocks in 11 years. And market expectations for Fed hikes are tumbling while subsequent rate cut expectations are rising. A very dramatic difference from the Fed's dot plot expectations. Mr. Powell, you have a problem. Yeah, what the market is that different from what the Federal from what the Federal Reserve thinks. But I don't think that you necessarily just go along with the market here. Because here's the thing. What happens if next week CPI is even higher? Right? Like, we could have a situation. Don't want to scare you. Okay. What I'm about to say a little scary. Then you get like the flashlight put underneath of my face, like tell scary stories. And then there was a recession, and they still had to keep raising interest rates because of inflation. Well, see, that was scary, right? The difference on the tape before and after 57 on ES is insane. Well, the liquidity did change. I had that trade in ES, kind of makes me want to like stay in it, but like I was making a mistake by not like dumping it afterwards. The thing is that off of that news, they moved. Did they? Well, I think I might have misread this chart here. There was a slight initial move higher before they started going down. So like I said, I thought that it could have been a bad news is good sort of a thing for the Treasury, or sorry, for the equities, but it was not the case. And then I got so focused on the Treasury. Like, this is the thing is I love to kind of have this, oh, I'm paying attention to this, but I love to have this thing working over here. And at one point I had 3 things going on. I shouldn't have done that. If I'm doing stuff in the Treasuries, I need to focus just on the Treasuries because I just can't keep up with what ES is doing there, you know? But I mean, it was a sim order, but I still feel kind of a little silly. No, what's scary is a recession where the Federal Reserve has to keep interest rates high because of inflation, right? So basically, the way this works is if we go into a recession, they probably stay in a recession until the Federal Reserve can reduce interest rates. Yeah. Listen, we went through this at the beginning of the pandemic. We haven't talked about it in a long time, but we should repeat it, right? A global disease outbreak is not very good for the economy. And it's not just like, oh, we shut everything down, so we're going to have like a 1-year problem. Like, no, because the markets get so out of whack. And then we had that incredible bull run afterwards, and now this incredible bear market that we've had, right? And there's a chance that it continues like this for some time. Because I think we're still reeling. I think we're still feeling the knockoff effects, and it's going to take a really long time for this to stabilize, probably. I just really hate that the spread is that wide. You know, and I want to be like, offer right here. Well, okay, now he puts it up. But like if I cancel it, okay. Well, hopefully they stay in there, but usually what happens is they realize I'm gone, and then they're like, okay, we won't do it. Don't forget the war as well. Yeah, you're right. The war was really kind of like the thing. The war was really the thing that tipped the scales, wasn't it? Sorry, I clipped the mic there. I've never done that before. I wasn't even that loud. It's time for me to go, guys. I will see you next week. In the meantime, stay profitable, friends. Well, listen, you're not going to be taking any trades over the weekend, so have a good 4th, huh? Go and see a parade. Hey, you know what? You never know. With my kid, I'm always like, if I have a chance to take him to a show or to the grocery store or whatever, I do it now. Because after the pandemic, I kind of realized, like, hey, there is a future where maybe those things aren't around, and I want him to remember them. So yeah.